What if I told you that the retirement plan you have trusted your entire life, the 401k, might not actually protect you from financial disaster? What if everything you have been told about retirement security was only half true, and the other half was the reason why millions of people will grow old but never live free? The truth is disturbing. A recent study by Charles Schwab revealed that 57% of people who invest in their 401k are not confident they will be able to retire comfortably. Think about that for a moment. More than half of the people following the most common retirement plan in America already believe it will fail them. They are not crazy or pessimistic. They are simply looking at the numbers, and the numbers do not lie. Workers today expect to retire at the age of 66, believing they will need at least $1.6 million saved to live comfortably. But reality tells a very different story. The average 401k balance for someone between the ages of 55 and 64 is only $272,000. For those already over 65, it is just under $300,000. The median balance is even worse, barely $95,000. Imagine spending 40 years of your life working, saving, and hoping, only to find out that your entire nest egg could not even support you for 2 or 3 years of retirement. That is not financial security. That is financial tragedy. The truth is that millions of Americans are walking directly into this trap. The 401k, once seen as a promise of safety, has turned into a quiet thief that slowly drains your wealth through hidden fees, inflation, and taxes. The scary part is that most people never realize it until it is too late. They believe they are doing everything right, contributing every month, watching the market grow, trusting the system, while inflation silently eats away at their future purchasing power and management fees consume tens of thousands of dollars in profits. It is like trying to fill a bucket with water when there is a hole at the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it keeps leaking out. But here's the good news. This trap is not unbreakable. You can turn the same 401k that keeps so many people trapped into a true wealth-building machine, but only if you learn how the system works and stop driving blind. Most people start saving without a destination. They have no clear picture of what retirement really means. They just hope that someday they will have enough. Yet if you do not know exactly where you are going, no vehicle will ever get you there. Imagine getting into a car and driving without any destination, just hoping that you will eventually arrive somewhere nice. That is how most people handle their retirement. Before you can escape the 401k trap, you must define what financial freedom truly means to you. How much money do you actually need each year to live the life you want? The traditional rule that financial advisors repeat endlessly is the 4% rule. It says that you should withdraw only 4% of your savings each year in retirement so that your money can last for decades. So if you want $60,000 per year, you would need about $1.5 million invested. It sounds simple, but it is dangerously misleading. The 4% rule assumes stable returns, low inflation, and perfect discipline, 3 things that rarely exist together in real life. In fact, the last few years have shown that inflation alone can destroy the value of your savings far faster than any advisor predicted. The cost of living, healthcare, and housing have all risen much faster than 4%, meaning that your safe withdrawal might not even cover basic needs in the future. Even worse, people rarely think about what happens after they reach their magic number. They say, when I reach 1.5 million, I will finally enjoy life. I will travel the world, eat well, relax. But what happens after a year or two when the excitement fades? Many early retirees discover that without purpose, money loses its meaning. There is a saying that those who retire early die early, not because of health, but because of emptiness. After decades of working nonstop, they suddenly find themselves with nothing to do, no identity, no reason to get up in the morning. So building wealth is not only about numbers, it is also about building a meaningful life. One that will keep you mentally and emotionally alive after you are financially free. The traditional American dream says that if you work hard, buy a house, and contribute to your 401k, You will retire comfortably. Yet this dream is collapsing in front of us. People who did everything right, who saved, bought property, and waited for Social Security, are now discovering that their safe plan cannot protect them. The system itself is built on outdated assumptions. Let's do the math. Suppose you earn $60,000 a year and your employer offers to match your 401k contribution up to 4%. You contribute $2,400 and your company matches it, giving you another $2,400. That seems great free money, right? You continue this for 40 years, from age 25 to 65. If your investments grow at 8% annually, you end up with about $1.25 million. That sounds close to the goal. But remember, that is before taxes. The traditional 401k allows you to invest before taxes, but you pay taxes when you withdraw. Depending on your tax bracket in retirement, you might lose 20 to 30% immediately. That 1.25 million becomes less than 900,000 in reality. And that assumes you achieve the high end of average returns. If your 401k grows at only 5%, your total drops to just 580,000, barely enough for a few years of expenses. Meanwhile, the second major vehicle that people depend on their home is also not the goldmine it seems to be. Most people believe that paying off a house guarantees financial security, but they forget how mortgages actually work. Banks designed them so that in the first many years, almost all your payments go to interest, not to the actual value of your home. On a 30-year loan, it might take nearly 19 years before half of your monthly payment even touches the principal. So for nearly 2 decades, you are mostly paying your banker, not building equity. And even when your home value rises, that wealth is not easily usable. You cannot spend your house without selling it. And when property prices rise sharply, your property taxes and insurance also rise, making it more expensive just to stay in the home you already own. Many retirees are forced to leave their homes not because they owe money, but because they cannot afford the taxes and maintenance on a $1 million property. All of this explains why America is facing the largest retirement crisis in its history. People are realizing too late that the vehicles they trusted, the 401k and the family home, are not enough to get them to financial freedom. But instead of panicking, you can start re-engineering your path right now. The first step is understanding the 3 forces that truly determine wealth: time, return, and money TRM. The more time your money has to grow, the greater the magic of compounding. The higher the rate of return, the faster your wealth multiplies. And the more money you invest, the more powerful the results. You cannot change time because the past is gone, but you can control the other 2, how much you invest and how wisely you invest it. To increase your returns, start by studying where your 401k money actually goes. Most employees never even look at the list of funds inside their plan. They simply choose the default option or whatever the HR manager suggests. Yet hidden inside that plan are often high-fee, low-performance funds that quietly eat your returns. A small 1% annual fee might sound harmless, but over 30 years, it can steal nearly 1/4 of your total investment value. If you thought you would retire with $1 million, you might actually end up with $750,000 just because of that single percentage point. That is the silent tax of ignorance, and it is far more dangerous than income tax. So check your plan's expense ratio, compare the performance of your funds, and move your money into options with lower fees and stronger long-term results. However, optimizing your 401k is only one step. The real breakthrough comes when you stop depending on it as your only vehicle. You must build multiple engines of wealth. One of the easiest ways is to open your own self-directed investment account outside of your company plan. Platforms like Charles Schwab, E-Trade, or M1 Finance allow you to invest directly into stocks or exchange-traded funds without employer restrictions. This gives you freedom to choose investments with higher growth potential, lower fees, and better flexibility. If you prefer automation, Platforms like M1 Finance can invest your money automatically every week or month according to your chosen strategy, allowing your wealth to grow passively. Another powerful engine of wealth is real estate, but not the house you live in. Owning your primary home is good for stability, but it does not create cash flow. Real estate investing means buying properties that other people pay for. When you own rental properties, the tenant's rent covers your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and maintenance, while still leaving extra money in your pocket each month. This is how wealth is built quietly in the background. Even better, real estate offers some of the most generous tax benefits in the entire US system. Many professional investors legally pay almost no taxes because they use the tax code intelligently, writing off depreciation, expenses, and mortgage interest. Over time, your properties can appreciate, your cash flow can rise, and you build both equity and income simultaneously. For someone disciplined and willing to learn, real estate can transform slow 401k returns into fast, tangible wealth. If you are just beginning, you can even combine the benefits of homeownership and real estate investing. For example, buying a duplex or triplex as your primary home allows you to live in one unit and rent out the others. The rent from your tenants can cover most or even all of your mortgage payment, turning your biggest expense into a wealth generator. Over time, you can repeat this strategy, buying more properties while your tenants pay down your loans. That is how many financially independent people start, not by working harder, but by letting money and assets work for them. While real estate and stocks are two major vehicles, the real secret lies in your mindset. The reason most people fail financially is not lack of intelligence, but lack of awareness. They trust the system too much. They believe the government and their employer will take care of them. But remember, the US government alone owes more than $37 trillion. Your taxes are being used just to pay the interest on that debt. Do you think that a system drowning in debt can really guarantee your retirement? It cannot. The system will protect itself, not you. That is why you must protect yourself by learning to think like an investor, not like an employee. Employees trade time for money. Investors trade money for freedom. Investing does not mean gambling. It means understanding how money grows, how markets move, and how risk can be controlled. You can choose conservative, stable investments like index funds that mirror the overall market, or you can choose more aggressive opportunities in emerging industries. The point is to take control. When you understand your investments, you no longer fear market drops, you see them as opportunities to buy assets on sale. When you understand cash flow, you no longer worry about inflation. You own assets that rise with prices. When you understand taxes, you no longer feel trapped. You structure your income so that the system works for you, not against you. But the journey to financial freedom is not only mathematical, it is emotional. Fear and greed are the two biggest enemies of wealth. Many people panic when markets fall and pull out their investments, locking in losses. Others chase quick profits and lose discipline. The wealthy understand that real wealth grows slowly, like a tree. You water it regularly, you protect it from storms, and you let time do its work. They also understand that money is not the final goal. Once you have enough, the real question becomes, what will you do with it? Will you build something meaningful, help others, create value, or simply consume? Without purpose, even a millionaire can feel poor. So where should you begin today? Start by facing reality. Look at your 401k statement honestly. Calculate how much you are truly contributing, how much your employer matches, what fees you are paying, and what your actual projected return is after taxes and inflation. If the numbers do not meet your desired lifestyle, do not panic plan. Increase your contributions where possible, diversify your investments, and educate yourself. The internet offers endless free resources, financial podcasts, investment newsletters, even free masterclasses that explain how professionals analyze opportunities before they become popular. Knowledge is your most valuable asset, because once you understand how wealth works, no one can ever take it from you. Then, create your personal roadmap. Write down your retirement goal, not just in numbers, but in feelings. What kind of life do you want? Where do you want to live? How do you want to spend your days? Once your vision is clear, reverse engineer the financial steps required to make it real. Divide that goal into smaller milestones. Maybe your first goal is to save your first $50,000, then $100,000, then buy your first rental property, then grow your investments to $500,000. Every milestone gives you both progress and confidence. Financial freedom is not a single event, it is a series of victories built over time. The next step is automation. The wealthy do not rely on willpower, they rely on systems. Set up automatic transfers from your income into investment accounts. Treat investing like a bill you must pay to your future self. This removes emotion and ensures consistent growth. At the same time, track your spending carefully. Every dollar wasted on unnecessary consumption is a dollar stolen from your freedom. Minimalism is not poverty, it is power. When you control your desires, you control your destiny. Of course, no plan is perfect. Markets will crash, recessions will come, governments will change policies. But wealth is not built on avoiding risk, it is built on managing it. Diversify across different assets so that if one area falls, another rises. Keep an emergency fund to avoid panic selling. Continue learning about how global trends, technology, and policy shifts affect your investments. The faster the world changes, the more valuable your financial intelligence becomes. Finally, never forget the human side of wealth. The reason to become financially free is not just to escape work, but to live with purpose. Use your freedom to spend time with family, to learn, to create, to give. True wealth is the ability to choose how to live each day without fear. It is the confidence that no employer, no government, no crisis can destroy your security because your foundation is built on knowledge and action. Right now, millions of people are heading toward retirement, believing that their 401k will save them. They will wake up one day, check their balance, and realize that what they thought was a safety net is just a thin rope over a deep financial canyon. Do not let that be you. The system is not broken for everyone. It works perfectly for those who understand it. The rich are not lucky. They are educated. They know how to turn taxes, debt, and investments into tools for growth, while the majority fear them. The choice is yours. You can continue driving the slow, worn-out vehicle that everyone else uses and hope it takes you to freedom. Or you can learn to build your own financial Lamborghini and reach your destination faster. The clock is ticking. Inflation does not sleep. The value of your money is melting like ice on a hot day. Every year you wait, you lose time, the one resource you can never get back. But if you start today, even with a small amount, you will activate the most powerful force in finance, compounding. A single decision to take control now can multiply into decades of freedom later. Do not wait for someone else to save you. Save yourself, because no one cares more about your future than you. The fear you feel right now is a gift. It means you understand the danger. Use that fear as fuel, not paralysis. Learn, plan, act. Build multiple streams of income. Master your 401k instead of being mastered by it. Invest intelligently. Protect your wealth from taxes and inflation. Create cash flow that works while you sleep. And when you finally reach that moment, when you no longer depend on a paycheck, you will realize that true wealth is not just about having money, it is about having control over your life. That is the real retirement. And it can start much sooner than you think.